Welcome back to the channel, Journey to Well. My name's Hannah. I'm a holistic business coach working with women to empower them in business to increase their productivity without burning out using tools like somatic breathwork, human design, and cycle alignment. So today is a 4-part series looking at where we can turn to in our human design chart when we're setting New Year's intentions and goals. If you have been someone that has set new intentions or set goals around New Year's and feels like you can't stay consistent with them, that you fall out of your New Year's resolutions after a couple months, or you just don't know where to start, so you've kind of given up on the whole process, this video is for you. There are ways that we can set goals in alignment with our unique design and our energy type and the way that our energy wants to move through the world, so that we don't feel like we're constantly going against the grain and having to put in so much effort when we're setting our New Year's intentions, when we want to increase our business, when we want to lose weight, when we want to be more productive, when we want to eat healthier, whatever your goal is, because honestly, everything affects your business. Your sleep, the way that you eat, your movement, your relationships, your lifestyle, that affects your business productivity and success as well. Okay, so the second place we can look in our human design chart, we can have so many conversations about open, undefined versus defined centers. Your energy centers in human design give you so much information, and we could make like literally an hour-long video just on energy centers. And I have talked a lot about centers on my podcast. You can always head over there and click on the human design videos. But for the purpose to be very concise, the purpose for this YouTube video is to point out one specific energy center that we can look at when we're setting New Year's resolutions, when we're setting New Year's goals, or just intentions in general to manifest, to bring to light in our business, to create a more productive and sustainable business and avoid burnout. So that energy center is looking at our ego center. It's also called the heart center. It's that little triangle on the right side of your body graph chart that's between the G center and the solar plexus or the emotional center. So it's going to be like right here. It's the smallest energy center in the body. It is a motor center though. So our motor centers, we have 4 of them. Our motor centers are the areas that, if defined, we have consistent access to that energy. If it's undefined, which means that it's not colored in, or open is also not colored in. There's a little bit of a difference between undefined and open centers. But if it's not colored in, that means for the purpose of this video, we're going to call it an undefined center. If it's colored in, we're going to call it a defined center. So when we have a defined ego center, that means we have consistent access to our motivation, to our ability to like pull ourselves up and just get it done. Our ego center, and there's a lot of ways to define the ego center, but in this video, what we're focusing on is the motivation aspect of the ego center. The ego center is also really aligned with community and like the tribe, greater good. It's also connected to material wealth. But what I really want to point out here is our connection to motivation. It's not that if you have a undefined ego center that you're not motivated, okay? Don't get me wrong. If you have an undefined ego center, you have inconsistent access to that motivation. So if you feel like someone that procrastinates a lot or might feel super gung-ho and motivated, and like you write out all of these New Year's intentions, all of these goals, and then the next day you're just like, I have no motivation, no willpower to do this goal right now at all, and it's only day 2 or it's only like week 3. It's because you might have an undefined or an open ego center. And that's not to say that if we have a defined ego center that we're always going to be able to achieve all of our goals, because this is where we're talking about how all of these 4-part videos really compound on each other. Even if you have a defined ego center and you're setting goals for yourself that are not in alignment with your unique energy, or you're setting goals for yourself that just aren't cyclically sustainable. So a big part of my business, we talk about aligning to our cycle as women, aligning to the moon cycle and our menstrual cycle. So if you're setting a goal of like working out at the gym for an hour and a half every single day, not sustainable, babe. Like, we're not meant to do the same exercise. We're not meant to do the same thing, whatever you're talking about, every single day in the same way. So where we're talking about the ego center, look at if it's defined or undefined for you. This might be the latter part of your goal setting process. But when you have an undefined ego center, it's really important to give yourself that flexibility to maybe have a little bit more time to achieve a goal, or maybe have a little bit more flexibility in where you're working and how you're working. This again is where we can get like even more nuanced into look at your human design arrow of environment, because you might do really well switching up your environment. You might do really well keeping the same environment of where you work. But if you have an undefined ego center, you're going to have inconsistent access anyway to your motivation and your willpower. So really taking the time to maybe put yourself in environments or put yourself with people that have defined ego centers, so you can tap into their energy, their defined willpower, and you can magnify that definedness for both of you to get some work done, to get motivated, to be productive, and then get out of their energy, because that's not the way that you were created. You aren't created to have a defined ego center all the time. So get out of their energy, take some time to clear your energy, cleanse it at the end of the day, and then come back, the next day or the next week, however much you want to be in contact with this defined ego center. If you have a defined center, again, you have that connection to consistent ability to tap into this motivation and willpower. So if you find yourself unable to set sustainable goals and keep on track with them, you might want to go back to our first video when we're talking about our self and not self theme. And you might want to go back and look at, how am I setting these goals? Are they in alignment? Do I feel success? Do I feel satisfaction? Do I feel at peace? Do I feel surprised when I think about this goal? Or do I feel my not self theme of anger, bitterness, right? Disappointment. So that is our second invitation, is to look at the defined ego center. Make sure you watch the third part of this video, because we are going to be talking about another aspect in human design to look at. This one's really, really cool. It's our incarnation cross. I feel like it's very underrated. People don't talk about it enough. So click on the next video and I will meet you there. So I hope that gives you a little starting off place to begin setting aligned New Year's intention. If you're feeling like you are really inspired and you have this ping of energy to learn a little bit more about your human design, learn about how we can align our cycle, which we haven't even talked about at all in these videos, but how we can hone into our follicular phase, how we can hone into our luteal phase and use the superpowers of each of the 4 cycles that we as women go through each and every month. If you're interested in using this information, harnessing this information to cultivate a life that feels alive, that feels sustainable, that feels very productive and successful, then let's chat. This is literally what I do with my clients on a much more detailed and intimate level. So you can click the link below. You can schedule a free connection call. We can just have a conversation. No pressure ever. One of my New Year's resolutions, one of my continual New Year's resolutions, is attracting clients that I feel very connected to, that want to work with me. I'm not here to chase down clients and try to gain as many clients as I possibly can just for the sake of gaining clients. So if you feel aligned, let's have a conversation. No pressure. It's a free consultation. We can talk a little bit more about your human design chart and where you can look in your human design chart to continue to build this life of sustainability and wealth, true well-being. I will see you soon, my friend. Be well.